All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about how a really big idea for an app gets built. We're going to look at a construction app called Clockedin and see how its massive vision gets strategically chiseled down into a powerful first version you can actually build.
This quote right here, man, it gets right to the heart of the matter. Construction sites are, kind of chaotic. You got high stakes, super tight margins, and there are always arguments about who did what and when and where. That is the core problem Clockedin is designed to solve. All that conflict and confusion.
So what's the big idea? Well, it's all about creating a single source of truth, a system that can generate an undeniable digital receipt for the reality of what actually happens on a job site every single day.
Now, if you've ever been around a construction project, you know these problems are real. We're talking about sloppy time cards that lead to paying for ghost hours. Supervisors are under a ton of pressure, and they can easily misremember key details. Budgets just start to drift, and nobody has a clear reason why. And my favorite is when any change in scope gets blamed on a worker's bad performance. The real issue here, the workers themselves have absolutely zero incentive to document everything they do.
And this is where the philosophy behind the solution really shines. The goal isn't just to make another digital form or a chat app. No, it's to build a platform that creates a ledger of actual evidence, a digital receipt for time, for location, for tasks completed, quantities, everything, all locked in, time-stamped, and verified.
So the vision for this thing is huge, right? Like an entire empire of features. But that ambition creates this classic problem. How do you even start without getting totally lost? This next part is all about that battle, the giant vision versus the smart, focused first step.
And I mean, look at this full vision. It is wildly ambitious. We're talking instant cash outs for workers, kind of like Uber but for construction pay, gamification with experience points and badges to motivate people, job site season pass programs. It even has automated promotion packets that use data, not just favoritism to build out a leadership pipeline. It's the whole shebang.
But here comes the reality check. Trying to build that entire empire all at once is a classic trap. It's a recipe for disaster. You burn through all your money, you lose focus, and the whole thing just collapses before you've even shipped a single useful feature.
The smart way to do it is to focus on the minimum viable product, or the MVP. Now, this doesn't mean building something cheap or incomplete. Not at all. It's about building the smallest possible version that delivers on the core promise, solves that main problem, and proves the whole concept works with real people. This slide just lays out that strategic choice perfectly. Instead of a complicated season pass, the MVP delivers a rock-solid clock in and clock out. Instead of instant cash out, it absolutely nails the crucial supervisor approval. Instead of deep job costing, it focuses on a simple CSV export. And that whole promotion pipeline, it gets simplified down to a basic break update. You're trading all that future complexity for immediate focused value. And this focus brings us to the very heart of the MVP, the core value loop. This is the single most important workflow in the entire app, and for it to succeed, this loop has to be absolutely perfect. And this rule right here is just a brilliant design choice. It shows a really deep understanding of the user. I mean, you can't ask a carpenter to stop framing a wall every 15 minutes to tap on their phone. It's just not going to happen. So the app has to be a helpful tool, not a distraction. Updates only happen during the natural pauses in the day.
So the workflow ends up being incredibly simple. Check it out. 1. You clock in when you get to the site. 2. You do your job, you work normally. 3. On your break, you open the app and submit proof of what you did. And 4. The supervisor approves it. That's it. That's the whole loop. It captures all this vital data without ever getting in the way of the actual work.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. This is the high-level blueprint for what it takes to build this MVP on day one.
So, the MVP system is built on this simple three-part harmony. You've got the worker, who's on the ground capturing reality. You have the supervisor, who's verifying that reality. And you have the admin, who sets the stage by defining the job sites and the tasks. It's a perfect little closed loop where everybody has a clear, essential job to do. Now, this might look a little technical, but don't let the phrase data model throw you. All it really means is, what information does the app need to remember? And as you can see, it's focused only on what's absolutely essential. It tracks the job site and the shift, so it knows who is where and when. It uses task templates, so everyone is measuring work the same way, no more vague descriptions. And most importantly, it captures those break updates, the digital receipts with photos and quantities. That's it. No more, no less.
The technology is also ruthlessly focused. By starting with just an iOS app, the team avoids the cost and complexity of supporting a bunch of different platforms right away. And the key piece of tech here is the geofence. Just think of it like a digital fence drawn around the job site. If your phone is inside that boundary, you can clock in. If you're not, you can't. It's a simple, really elegant way to prove you're actually at the location.
So we have our blueprint. But what does this carefully planned MVP actually deliver from day one? Let's look at how we get from lines of code to actual, concrete results.
So what's the core mission of this MVP? It's razor sharp. It isn't just to prove that the app works, but to prove that it can deliver on 3 specific, really high-value promises right from the start. And here they are, the 3-point demo. First, you can prove who was on site and when, which just ends time card disputes right then and there. Second, you can prove what work was completed, with hard numbers and photo evidence. And third, you prove the whole loop closes. A supervisor can approve it and then export the data. This isn't some theoretical feature. It's a tool that solves arguments and simplifies payroll on day one.
And this brings us right back to the big picture. This MVP isn't a compromise. It's the essential foundation. By focusing on getting this core loop exactly right, you're not just building some small app. You're pouring the concrete and laying the rebar for that future empire we talked about.
This whole process just goes to show you the biggest barrier to a great idea isn't the size of your vision, it's the strategy you have for that first step. Every big idea has a focused, powerful version you can start building today. So the only question left is, what's yours?